The Late Night Legends podcast is meant for an adult audience only. It may contain sexually oriented content. Content may not be suitable for sensitive listeners. Please be aware of your surroundings. Listener discretion is advised. Watch out.
Welcome to our freak show. Come meet my monsters. Oh, such a fine collection of stranger things. My patience running thinner on this melting clock. Cerebrum jail with thoughts most would consider odd. To think you're any different from an animal or creature sick as you should be put down, but I can't help myself. Welcome to our freak show. Come meet my monsters. Oh, such a fine collection of stranger things. Please don't hide your imperfections. Nature took to try to make the man in white. No, I don't mind. You are a beauty, not temptation. You're my creation.
Oh, me. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Welcome to Late Night Legends. I am one of your many hosts, Joan. I am joined tonight by Frank, Charlie, and Kay. And tonight we have Jesse and James off. We wish them the best. Just for a few upcoming announcements. Next week we have a guest coming on of Larry Eisler, and he is going to talk to us about some of his upcoming events he will be joining. So we get to hear that. And then we have Kimberly's topic. And then we have my topic. And I'm not going to say what they are.
Would you be
You have
fair?
to figure it out.
Do you think it would be fair to call them both hot topics?
The hottest of topics.
Very hot.
I want to call it hottest of topics so we don't get sued for copyright.
All right, I suppose.
Good call.
Thank you. See, I'm good at being HR and legal at the same time. I've now promoted myself to legal. It's not good. I shouldn't do that.
For everyone listening, Chancellor is next. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
We all know.
We already have a comment on the YouTube apparently.
Oh, do we?
It's Donald T. Rump. He's back.
Oh, Donald.
No.
And,
Hi, Donal.
I once
really
saw an
know-
ass clown. Thank you, Donnell. Is it in the mirror?
How riveting.
All right. One last announcement.
I hope everyone's legal troubles are going well. Speaking of our people who are looking in on our chat right now, hope we're having a great old day, and that every legal process went exactly how it deserved to go for
Donnell,
you specifically.
Let us know how our stream quality is. Also, last announcement.
Or don't.
For the first time in the last more than 10 years, actually, depending on how you see things, for the first time in the last few years, I'm actually going to be taking more than one night of PTO from this place. It's actually just TO. There's no P. Sorry if you were excited for the P. But no, it's just TO. Going to take some TO, about a month, and going to have my vice president run things here, which is your girl Joan, and then hopefully editing of the show goes to Charlie. Do you guys hear my
It is not my dryer.
You guys hear my dryer?
It's
my
not
dryer.
a song.
We have a thing about dryers beeping on this show. Just letting
We
y'all
do.
know. Anyway, you want to add anything else, or should we jump into the clowns?
Donal now says not as laggy as typical. So I guess
Thanks,
that's good.
Donal.
Pretty good. We didn't announce that it was clowns, but it's clowns this week. So, if you have a phobia, you should still watch. Maybe you'll learn just a little bit
listen.
about why not to be afraid of clowns.
You could listen too.
Or just
You don't-
listen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's.
Where is Joan? I'm right here. Oh, like where am I in like time and space?
Do you want longitude and latitude coordinates, Donnell?
No, I want how far from O'Hare. Come on, that's
Oh, he
How
wants
far from-
driving time from O'Hare.
that's
Yes.
the
I think I'm
accepted
20
measurement of distance on this show.
I think I'm 27 hours now.
Okay.
I think.
There you go, Donnell.
I am at my new home, in my house, that I have a mortgage for. No, so quickly before you go, I was at a bachelorette party this weekend, and I was a big old dum-dum, and I forgot my driving license at home, because I'm looking into, like, officially legally changing my last name. And also I'm 30, and I haven't been carded in forever, and I wasn't driving. And, I have a picture of my license, so I was looking for it to, like, just show them, like, I'm 30, please let me into this bar. And this woman goes, I'm like, I swear, I have a mortgage. I promise, I'm old enough. And she goes, look at me, just look at me in the face. And I'm like, hi. And she goes, yeah, you're 30. And I was like, oh.
No.
That
My
hurts.
word.
I was like, okay, well, like, you could say like 25. That would make me feel a little bit better.
She should have just been like, show me how you take a selfie. Right there. Millennial.
For those of you that watch our sister podcast, Super Balls, just wanted to say really quick, happy early birthday. Tomorrow is Gina's birthday. She's 18 tomorrow.
Happy
happy-
birthday.
Happy
Let's
birthday
say
to Gina.
19 if we're going to make that joke. I don't want her pre-legal on the show.
Donnell says, you don't look a day over 29.75, Joan.
Oh my god, I am several days over 29.75.
Several days.
I'm almost 31 now.
I think if we're going with the paranormal perspective on things, we should measure things in moons. You know how people say, I haven't seen you in many moons. We should measure things in
It's
moons.
a lot of math. I don't like
Yeah.
math.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many moons am I? Now I need to know.
Rock and Snail says, you look like you've seen shit. Have a beer.
Thanks, hon. I really appreciate that. That's my husband.
Thanks, hon.
Thanks, babe.
That's my friend.
It's my good friend that I live with, my roommate.
The waitress probably
Probably.
said that.
Well, it was a bouncer.
The
not a
bouncer's giving you
waitress.
beer?
I hope. That'd be nice. No.
They usually take money. They usually don't give things. They're takers.
Yeah. No, it was one of like just like an ID checker. It's not like a club. We were not in a city.
Have you guys ever gone to a club?
No, feels like a lot of work.
Well, kind of, but it was like on a Monday, so there wasn't like anybody there.
Okay, tell us about your clubbing days.
I've never been clubbing.
Really?
I'm so
I'm
lame.
am I the only one that's been clubbing? I've actually
I
gone
went to
out.
like one gay club in New York City one time, but like not really.
I did clubbing for I think 2 years. I had like a phase of 2 years where it was like every other weekend during the summer clubbing. And it was expensive and it was stupid and I would still do it again if I was young again, but I don't know. I think it's like a what? It's kind of like a rite of
I just
passage.
wouldn't.
I don't know. Like there is no. Oh, let's not talk about this on our paranormal show. We'll talk about it in the other show, but maybe after we'll have some gossip.
BBK
about-
wants to talk about her clubbing or our clubbing.
I think.
I think we
it's-
just all meet up in Denver. We're gonna go to the airport. We're gonna
Yes.
go to Costco, and
What's
then
going
we'll
to
go
stop us
clubbing.
from clubbing? What's going to stop
There
us?
is a bar club thing in Denver that's like in an old church that I would very happily go to. Very cool location.
Let's do it. We talked
Let's
about
do
doing
that.
a spooky bonfire. We can hit every stop.
Nice.
Okay, let's talk about some clowns. Y'all
Okay.
ready? Okay. Happy birthday, Gina. Also,
Happy birthday,
so
Gina.
before we get into it, the way that I used to do my topics, you know, when I used to do them more frequently, is I used to be very interactive. So I'm going to be interacting with you guys more, but I did do a lot of research here. I'm going to be actually quoting a lot of this stuff and talking about it. But what do y'all know? Thanks, Lord Cronus, for calling someone an ass clown. I don't know who that would be. Man, how did I not foresee these jokes being made? How did I
just like it's
Cloud
this.
sightings everywhere.
Yeah, this ask. I should have named it Ask Clown Sightings. Honestly,
Oh, wow. Anyway,
missed opportunity.
so the clown sightings peaked in 2016. That was not the first time that happened that people were dressing up like clowns, but that's the time when it was like a big trendy thing. Before we get into the topic, I'd like to know from each of you, and also Rock and Snail, Donnell, and Lord Cronus, what do you remember about the clowns that were being sighted around the world?
So I was teaching at that time. So it was really fun when you'd have the kids go out for recess and be really upset and scared that they were going to see the clowns. I remember that being a grand old time. I do remember a lot of them being initially frightening children on purpose, which is also not fun. I think you're kind of a big old jerk if you do that. So that's what I remember.
Rock and Snail says that he remembers it being chiefly a U.S. thing, and he doesn't remember it happening in other countries. However, actually, I believe it was a bigger thing. Like, there's two main places it happened, and one of those places was the UK throughout, but the other place was in Michigan. So you do remember it, right? But I feel like the local news probably just reported US. Charlie, Kate, do you guys remember anything
I
about
remember
clowns?
hearing about it when it was happening, 2016, and probably into 2017. I was hearing about it a little bit, and just on YouTube videos. But yeah, it would be like the US. That's all I really remember.
Kate, do you remember this?
Yeah, when it was happening, I actually worked in a haunted house. I worked I did. I worked for the Fear PDX, which is like one of the top 10 haunted houses in the United States. And so we had a whole section dedicated to clowns, and we had it started and we had all these rules, like if you were a clown, you could not leave the premises or go anywhere other than the house where we got ready or the haunt, because they didn't want anybody calling the cops. We got the cops called on us a couple times because people saw a clown. We're like, well, it's a haunted house, so duh. And there's actually one time that I was a clown because I kind of hopped around to different characters, and I didn't get out of the haunt until 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was starving, so I stopped at McDonald's for a McChicken, and I forgot I had my clown makeup on. Oh, no. And I pulled up to the window, and the poor worker like opens the window and like screams and runs backwards, and was like getting one of his coworkers and like pointing at me, and I'm just like, I just wanted my McChicken. I'm not here to hurt you.
It's the ghost of Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
I must know. Ladies and gentlemen, we're learning this for the first time about our coworker Kay. So,
Yeah.
Pardon me, Kate. Do you remember your clown name? If you remember, I'd love to know what that is.
I did not have a clown name. I hopped around, so I was like one here and one there, but I was a whole bunch of different characters.
Rock and Snail says he's quoting you by saying, "Don't worry, McDonald's employees, I'm one of you guys." Now we've got Rev Nelly in the chat saying working at haunts was wild, indicating that he also worked at some haunted places. My sister, actually, that was like one of her favorite jobs of all time, is working at haunted places.
It was a lot of fun, and I would absolutely do it again.
And just to clarify, to make it clear, even though it probably should be, we were talking about haunted attractions, not paranormally haunted places.
Yes.
That's true.
Since
Okay.
I can imagine that getting confusing on this paranormal podcast.
Oh yeah, I just part-time as a vengeful spirit. You know, I just.
Well, I am a poltergeist, so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, do you guys catch that? Any eagle-eyed listeners, viewers, if you look at our credits, both opening credits and end credits, it actually does say that Kay's actually a poltergeist.
Yeah. There hasn't been a K here in 50 years.
Okay, guys. So, my experience, the first time that I experienced anything clown related They actually, I used to, when I was in college, which was back in fucking 2006, when I was done with school, because I would go to school super early in the morning. It'd be downtown Chicago, and then I'd come home on the train, and I used to walk to go and not pick up my sister in a car, but like walk her home from school because she was in elementary school. And there was one particular day where they didn't let all the kids out on time. It was like half an hour later, and I was just standing outside of the school like a dope waiting for her. And when they did let all the kids out, my sister had said that some guy decided to dress up like a clown and try to talk to children. They didn't want to use like the word lure, but tried to talk to children in front of the school. And yeah, he got away. So there's that. Outside of that,
Chicago has a history of clowns and men dressing up as clowns and suspiciously luring them. So even though that's not fully true, but go on.
I know that part of that is probably you referencing Gacy a little bit, John Wayne Gacy. Here's a fun fact: for a while, this was years ago, prior to me buying my car that I currently own, I was renting some cars, and Jeff and I, who did Super Balls, bringing it back in 2019. This happened in 2019, winter of 2019. Jeff and I, for Super Balls content, we wanted, because he's from Connecticut, he's from New Haven, so we wanted to go around Chicago, and I was going to drive him to all the best hot dog places, because we do hot dogs here. We're going to try them all out and see which one he liked the best. We're going to do like a tier list, all that stuff. So actually, the only car that was available for that particular weekend was a minivan. So I rented the old mom and dad beater minivan, and we did a day. We actually didn't eat that many hot dogs because they're actually very filling, and we didn't just take a bite. We were like, let me eat this whole hot dog. So anyway, it was the winter time. It was December, and I picked it up from somebody's house in one of the suburbs. And then you do the same thing. Like, you take pictures of the car when you pick it up. It's an app called Turo. You take pictures of the car. You take it with you. The keys are usually, somewhere that they give it to you in person or they're somewhere. Same thing when you return it, you got to take pictures of the car, and then, you just kind of find your way home. So what I would do is I would Uber out, pick up the car, and then I would Uber home. So like, I had dropped off this minivan, and you know how it gets dark super early in the winter. It was like, I don't know, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock p.m. And I was returning the car, and it was really cold. And I just remember, like, I took pictures of the van. The person wasn't home. I put the keys in their mailbox, whatever. Everything was Gucci. And I remember just like ordering my Uber, and you're waiting for your Uber. And I remember just thinking to myself, man, I don't really know this immediate area very well. I'm going to look because I'm kind of hungry. Maybe I'll go to a restaurant nearby or something. So I like open up Google Maps just to kind of check out the area where I'm located. I happen to be standing literally across the street from the Gacy house, which was for sale at the time.
Fun.
Literally, I like look at the map, and it's like a landmark, and then I look up and like, oh, there it is. Let me check the address. Oh yeah, there it is. And that's before Late Night Legends. But I still knew about everything, and I was like, wow, that's pretty wild. So
yeah,
true story, fun story. I've told it before. Anyway, so 2016, there was an influx of clowns. There was a huge wave. It was a huge internet trend. There are different people that did this for different reasons, but the trend was that people were going out fully dressed in clown attire. I'm going to read to you this little spiel I put together because I feel like you have to do that on this particular show. I would be feeling pretty bad if I just talked about what I knew about it, but I didn't read my actual research. I feel like it would not be good. It wouldn't be fair to everyone else who does that. So, the phenomenon of clown sightings refers to incidents in which people reported seeing individuals dressed as clowns in unusual or unsettling contexts. This trend gained widespread attention in 2016, although similar incidents have occurred specifically over the years. And here are some key points about the 2016 clown sighting wave. Origins and spread. The sightings appeared to have originated in the United States, with the first major reports coming from South Carolina in August 2016. Children claimed that clowns tried to lure them into the woods. The reports quickly spread across the United States and then internationally, with sightings in Canada, the UK, Australia, and various European countries. How did the public react? The sightings caused a significant public reaction, leading to fear and concern in many communities. Schools were placed on lockdown, events were canceled, and police issued warnings in various locations. Social media played a crucial role in amplifying reports, with photos and videos of clowns being shared widely. Types of incidents. The sightings ranged from harmless pranks and hoaxes to more serious incidents where individuals dressed as clowns engaged in threatening or criminal behavior. There were reports of clowns wielding weapons, chasing people, or causing disturbances. And that is very true. Some clowns were clearly up to try to hurt somebody, or at least make it seem like they were going to. So we're going to see a video or two of that here shortly. What was the law enforcement response? Authorities had to deal with numerous false reports and hoaxes, which, strained resources. Some individuals were arrested for making or engaging in criminal activities while dressed as a clown. The creepy clown image has deep roots in popular culture, from Stephen King's It and the character of Pennywise to real-life criminal clowns like John Wayne Gacy, who we just talked about. The 2016 sightings led to a resurgence of interest in creepy clowns in media and entertainment. In my research, I had found that there are mostly two types of clowns that were involved in the clown sightings. One of them is stalker clowns, where individuals would dress up as clowns to try and scare or prank people, and these clowns were real people that were trying to engage in stunts for attention or publicity, also known as clout, which happens a lot. And now, nowadays, if you've ever seen somebody do a prank, there's for example, on TikTok, there's people that do pranks, they'll walk up to somebody in a public place with scissors and just cut their hair, shit like that. It's the same type of thinking, that toxic clout bullshit thinking. And then other type of clown is the phantom clown, which clowns attempt to lure children often into near wooded areas without physical evidence of their existence. These reports were primarily fueled by mass hysteria and often involved children as witnesses. And I've got sources for these as well that we will link in the description and post-publish.
Yeah, you actually reminded me as well. As I said, I was teaching.
Yes.
And I believe that one time the students were not allowed to dress up as clowns either for that year. So that was a big thing. And I think a couple of towns banned clown costumes, and they were being removed from stores for that reason as well.
I remember
that might have been a rumor part. Yeah.
No, I remember that people were like, "Don't dress up as a clown this year."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's odd culturally, if you look generation to generation, our parents' generation, and even if you're a little bit older, I feel like people within my generation, which is millennial, clowns have kind of been an enduring thing, and they used to be a bigger deal within the culture. Even here, localized to Chicago, not talking about Gacy, we've always had Bozo the Clown, who has had a TV show here, and my brother was actually on that show, and my brother made it up to the buckets, the Bozo buckets, whatever. Anyway, they've always kind of been an endearing thing, and they went very quickly within a generation or two from being these, things that were comedic to sort of just exclusively used for scare, nightmare fuel, right? And I would say it's kind of hard pressed to find someone younger who likes them. They don't have to be scared, because not all the kids are scared of them. But how many children do you know A, like clowns, and then B, go after to seek out wholesome clown media, if that even exists? Probably almost nobody that I can think of.
It's hard for me to say because clowns freaked me out as a kid, but not because I watched it or anything. I remember back in the day when there would be parties and clowns would be children entertainers, and I remember not liking them, but I think that's more because they were loud, and loud things scare me.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of wholesome entertainment of clowns at the moment, and I can't think of any.
I don't think there's much in media anymore. Because
there was a show when I was little that was JoJo the Circus Clown, and it was clay animation almost.
Yeah.
Yep. What about Big Comfy Couch?
Oh, I remember Big Comfy Couch. The girl was dressed as a clown, right?
Yeah, it was a clown and her Luna and Molly, a clown and her dog.
Molly. Yeah.
And they still is it Walgreens or CVS does the red nose?
I think it's CVS, isn't it? There's a Walgreens.
Like, I don't know. One of them does like the red nose day.
I was talking
like that's allusion to clowns.
prior to going on air. I was talking about a homeless man who wears a clown nose when he's asking for money, and that's across from a Walgreens. So I'm going to go out and say Walgreens based on
Maybe Walgreens. Yeah.
We got Donnell Rump saying, I heard clown thing happened in 2016 around the time of the election of that handsome orange gentleman. And then Rock and Snail said, I recently found out that there's a Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game, and I had to wonder if that's still currently culturally relevant. I think it's for us to decide. So part of the research on this is I was looking into if anything has happened recently. Because there was a lot when this was going on, and I'm going to show some videos here, and I'm going to get your input on some videos here momentarily, but there is still things going on. So here is part of my research. In 2023, because we're still going into the warm weather of 2024, so there wouldn't really be anything yet, if there was anything this year. However, 2023, there was a notable incident in the Scottish village of Skimmerley, where a person dressed as Pennywise from Stephen King's It and was leaving red balloons around town. This individual, who set up a Facebook page under the name Cole Demos, posted videos and images of himself in various locations around the village, causing concern among residents. In the United States, there were some sightings reported in Washington State, specifically in cities around South Sound and North Sound regions. I don't know where those are. Maybe you guys do.
So the Puget Sound, that's the Puget Sound is kind of like the west side. That's Seattle and the greater Seattle area. So South Sound would be like Tacoma, and North Sound would be Everett. Yeah,
and then is that guy in Scotland that was dressed as Pennywise? What my research here that I kind of took a little bit of a snippet there, but in other research that I did, this guy on his Facebook page was taunting police, like, "Hey, come and get me." Fuck around and find out, like taunting them and stuff. So, yeah, crazy stuff still going on. Maybe not in the numbers that it was before. And a few years ago, I was so interested in this when we did a Halloween special for the show. The whole intro, because we used to do a pre-stream before we went live. The whole intro, the whole pre-stream was actually just the clowns chasing each other and like clown clips, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Lord Cronus says research. I'll have my sources up for you, Lord Cronus.
No, Frank does research.
I do research. I do stuff.
Research.
Can you imagine a world where like one of the team leads doesn't do research on topics? What kind of world would we be living in? Okay.
What you said actually reminded me that I'd say probably 6 months ago or something. I live in a very small town, and somebody tied a red balloon to a rock and dropped the rock down the sewer system. So there was a red balloon coming out of the sewer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
crazy. I actually did not see it until actually fairly recently. I think I saw it for the first time in
the TV series or the recent movie.
Well, I never saw the old movie at all. The newer remake movie, I saw it for the first time, I think in 2019 is when I saw that.
Okay.
And then I saw the sequel. I was unimpressed. So here's the first video we're going to watch. I have the sound off. And this is one of the things, really quick, if you're watching the stream or if you're watching in post, trigger warning, there is somebody that gets hurt here. They don't get killed as far as I know. But this is one thing that happened where there's a clown wielding a weapon, and some people shoot him out of maybe self-defense, but I don't think those people were in immediate danger. So he's going to get shot here. And he's wielding a stick. But yeah, he gets, so what I would like to everybody to kind of realize here is what you're seeing on your screen is the find out moment of the fuck around or find out scenario. This clown is finding out. So then we got that. We got this one that was caught. Oh, hold on. I guess let me try to share a different one here. Hold on. Well, I'm trying to share my... I didn't know that... I was trying to share my whole browser, but apparently it only shares the tabs. Okay. So here's one that was caught on Ring. And if you're a homeowner, which I am not, however, I'd love to get... I don't know if Charlie's a homeowner, but I know Joan and Kimberly are. I'd love to get your input on if this happened, how would you react? Like, this is a recording at night. You're watching this on night vision.
How I would react? I would call the police.
Well, you wouldn't find out until the next day. You would still call police, yes?
No, because police are poopy with stuff like that, unfortunately. I would be posting that to the Facebook group and just warning my neighbors. But
yeah, that's fair.
Justin has a joke that if he ever met a ghost, he would just punch it, and I feel like he would do something very similar.
We got Justin saying, I'd have to put my own clown outfit on and poke my head out and be like, yo, brother.
Never mind, he wouldn't punch it. He would join them.
You know what? It seems like Justin's strat for dealing with conflict is to assimilate into the aggressor or assimilate into the other party, as he did with McDonald's. He
does do jujitsu, so that is about like learning a pathway to your opponent. So that tracks. So what really bothers me about this is the people who are willing to just like scare people. Like, I hope they know these people, and that's why it's like funny. But like, just willing to scare people to see like what happens, but also the long game is what scares me, is that they like to wait and see what happens. I don't like that portion of it. Go home, go to bed. Let's see if it becomes one of our personal favorites. No, I don't know this.
What would you do? What would you do?
What would I personally do? Ugh.
This is a fun one. Look, he's got a prop.
No, this pisses me off.
He takes your pumpkin.
Do you know how much pumpkins cost? Do you know how much they cost?
They're actually pretty cheap in Illinois. It's one of our biggest exports. So here they're like a couple of dollars.
Not to go pumpkin picking. I hope it was November 1st. I would be so pissed. He just wants to celebrate your birthday. You don't know, it's not my birthday. What? Justin, what are you talking about? My birthday's nowhere close to there. Oh, the balloons.
All right, here's the last one. This was also one of my favorites.
So
I'm gonna leave the audio on for here. These are a couple of joggers.
And then, I swear to God, man, we just saw a clown.
Oh, I know this one.
I remember this one.
I'm sort of freaking out about it.
What the I choose the bear.
What the What the Yo, what the are you doing, man? It's 7:30 in the morning. Have you heard about all this? People are freaking out about this.
What are you doing, man?
Like, this is like what I'm talking about.
Yo,
like,
Patrick,
if this is not staged, I don't like this idea of this person waiting to scare people. That's weird.
I honestly feel like it's less likely to be staged because two grown men running in fear is probably not the image they want to portray to whatever audience they're pandering to. But yeah, I mean, that's stuff like that would happen and there's countless clips like that. I'm gonna try to fix my camera. I don't know.
Okay.
What the fuck.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like the idea of the person waiting to like scare people. Like, to me, that's weird. If you really want to do that, get a job at a haunted attraction. Get paid to do it.
Absolutely.
Don't be a weirdo.
I second.
People will pay you to do that, to be a weirdo like that.
Never do it for free.
Yeah. And if you love it, it'll never be work.
It's a famous line from the Joker, I'll point out.
You guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to put myself on mute. Talk amongst yourself. Let me try and troubleshoot my camera for a moment.
Okay. While Frank does that, Charlie, I do think during the editing process, and Frank, you take note of this too, we should just have a stand-in of Frank with clown makeup on.
Ooh.
So.
I'll see what I can do.
I don't know if Frank is going to discuss this, but I would love to discuss a little bit about why clowns come off as creepy in general. And my theory is because they have painted on faces with like really big expressions. But as humans, in our frontal lobes, we like a little bit of mimicking. Like, we have mirror neurons. Mm-hmm. That's why when you whisper, sometimes the person you're talking to will also start to whisper, and you do that thing. You're like, why are we whispering? Why are we doing that? that being said, if there is too much mimicry or too little mimicry, we get freaked out. Like our brain goes, something is wrong. So I think those painted on expressions heightens our fear already because our brain says like something is not correct here.
Do you think it kind of takes us like a little bit into uncanny valley? Not exactly the same thing because it's so like painted on and.
But you can still see the face underneath. I mean, if it's a painted on face, masks. I have more of a problem with like a clown mask, but like a painted on clown face. I've never really had a problem with that. But
okay. Do you want to dive into that? This is therapy now. Do you want to unpack that for us?
Well,
how does that make you feel?
Was it which Roger Moore James Bond movie is it where he dresses up as a clown because there's a nuke in the cannon at the circus? Anyway, I watched a lot of that as a kid, and I was like, well, it's James Bond. I could trust him. I don't care if he's a clown. It's fine. But maybe that's just me.
He's one of the good clowns, not those clowns who wear a mask. It's an art to him.
Yeah.
Truly the artistry of clownery.
Yeah, totally. And like I remember like my dad showing me like old Marcel Marceau stuff when I was a kid. So like, I never really like. I've always kind of liked that stuff. But again, like with the mask is more upsetting to me.
So Lord Cronus says, both my wife and I agree that if we see a clown on the Ring camera, they are getting a shot. I'm assuming that they're talking about like what Walgreens does and they're updating their flu vaccine every year. Thank you for doing that service for the community. And Frank is back.
One of my favorite places to work in the haunted house was actually in the clown section. And I remember people were really freaked out by the clown section at this time because it was right at the height of clown stuff. And there was one night I didn't have a full mask on, but I had a prosthetic across my mouth. And I had like a wig and crazy makeup and everything. And I stood right next to a mannequin, and people would come up and like touch the mannequin and then go to touch me, and I'd scream at them.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite places to be.
Nice. I don't like touching, and I don't like screaming, and that would be the worst.
It was really interesting to see the difference when I was in there without my face prosthetic, like just being a weird character where they knew that somebody else was in the room, versus when I had my prosthetic on and they thought it was just kind of, you know, they're making their way to the next scare and they don't think that somebody from the haunted house is in the room, like how people act different and they like to touch things and do things they shouldn't do.
So fun fact, the bachelorette trip I was on had 3 teachers of the deaf. So they were signing. I did not learn the sign for clown, but I know the sign for bitch, which is always fun.
Ooh.
So you do a B, bitch.
Oh.
Not to be confused with the B bringing into your mouth, which is breakfast.
Bullshit right there.
Now you can just do bullshit.
Oh, that sounds fun.
We do bitch please a lot at each other.
I like that.
Yeah. I think this is penis.
Yeah. Knew that one.
So
cactus?
That might be. So yeah. Penis. Bangs. If you see a bachelorette party, it's a penis veil. Frank, do you want to hear my theory? And then you can add in your own quotes?
Yeah, I'd love to hear your theory. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not offended.
Please
not
don't
like,
be
why did you leave
Please
the
don't
room
be
on
offended.
purpose?
I apologize.
Anyway, so I was saying that as humans, our brain has mirror neurons in our frontal lobe that like slight mimicry. Not too much and not too little. But like when you're talking to someone and like they nod their head, you'll notice people also like nod their head like to show that they are like listening and doing things. Clowns have such like big expressions painted on and they don't move that our brains are hardwired to be like something isn't right here. And basically as a defense mechanism for most things, if your brain goes something isn't right, your first emotion is like fear. So it's like I am scared because that human's not reacting the same way as I think it should be.
So that's true. Why then are clowns used for comedic value?
So, in the past, they come from theater. So you wanted big painted expressions so that the crowds could see you from far away. So like you can think like it comes from the comedy mask, and I just learned their names recently and now I've forgotten them. But like you have that overdrawn painted expression, so you can see far out in the crowd. And then I forget, the first clown was like an Italian guy. He didn't. Yeah. And like there's an opera based on him, so it's more operatic makeup than anything else.
Yeah, Pagliacci.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Commedia dell'arte, which kind of went to it got really big in England, and now it's still very popular around Christmas time to go to. It's called the pantomime, and it's kind of these big, broad characters, very stupid, simple jokes that everybody knows, but there's a lot of audience interaction. It's kind of just a tradition now. Like all kind of big stars do that around Christmas, and you go see them. Then sometimes there's clowns.
I'm kind of curious to know, like, if you guys have a fear of clowns, if your parents are scared of clowns.
No fear of clowns. My parents really like clowns, especially my mom. I don't think my dad actually has a stance on clowns, but my mom, I don't think my dad minds them. My mom likes them actively. I was never afraid of clowns. I was more on because again, my brother was on the Bozo show with a clown. I watched that growing up a little bit when I was like super young, not when I was a little bit older, but probably like prior to like 10 years old, I'd watch that sometimes. So like I grew up with they're funny, they're here to entertain, it's slapstick like Three Stooges, and that's what I grew up with. So no fear, and no fear on my parents' side. Joan, what would you say?
I don't have like a fear of clowns now. Like I wouldn't say that's something that like scares me. Sometimes they're disturbing because I don't like where they are. It's mostly those crying clown paintings and I'm like, what is happening? I don't know. I don't like that. But I didn't like clowns growing up because, as I said, they were loud. And I still have like an aversion. Like I don't like loud things, and like it just makes me react. I've never asked my parents, but they've never seemed to care either which way. But I don't like loud things. Like I don't like going to haunted attractions because they'll like scream and I'll react to the scream, and then they'll like follow me because they think like, oh, I'm a target, I'm easy to scare, and I'm like, I'm not like scared. My body moves when you yell at me. They give it more as a trauma response than anything else. Please stop yelling at me. I'm begging you. So yeah, I don't know. Clowns don't freak me out now.
How about you, Charlie?
As I said earlier, I never really was afraid of clowns. I don't really like the clown masks. But as for my parents, I don't really think they were afraid of clowns. And in the Seattle area, up till kind of the same age you said, Frank, around 10 or so, we had JP Patches. It was kind of our local clown.
Okay.
But he was more like naturalistic, like very minimal makeup, red nose, leather jacket, like a bucket hat. He was just kind of funny guy.
Do you want to share a picture? I can share a picture of our clowns in here in Chicago.
Aw, clown sharing. That's so cute.
You can tell. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to share the picture of the clowns that we had here, and then you can tell me whether you think that they are scary. I'll go first, Charlie, here while you look. This is not my mom, but this is a picture of Bozo and
This is someone's mom.
Cookie
but
the
it's not
clown.
my mom.
I've always thought Bozo was kind of like he's on the upper end of like scary clowns.
You're aware of Bozo. As somebody on the West Coast, I assume that you would not be.
I like he's enough, I think, in the pop culture that.
Yeah, like no, like I've heard the name Bozo. I would not be able to pinpoint where he's from, but I've heard the name Bozo.
I had a parakeet named Bozo, named after that clown when I was a little boy. He
There's
flew away.
JP Patches.
Wow. I like your clown better. Who's that other guy? Hold on, Charlie. Who's the other guy with the red mouth? Well, first image. Who's on the right?
That's his co-host, co-star. I can't remember his his name. I had to look it up. Oh, it's Gertrude. That's right, Gertrude.
Is it a lady? Gertrude.
It's supposed to be a lady. It's a lady character. Yes, I believe. Yeah. So, but he had also kind of same thing. Kind of thing. He had a TV show, but it was more like Sesame Street or something like that, where he was
Don't
like
hug me, I'm scared.
in a fantasy world.
Okay,
I saw him live. I met him live.
Oh, you did?
I'm more upset about the tree
did.
guy in the back. I don't like him. I don't know what's happening with that tree. Don't like it.
I think that's grandfather clock.
Well, I don't like it. It can go back. Go away.
Wow.
But he was on for like 40 years or something like that, which was pretty cool on local TV. Yeah, I met him. He was doing like a local Oktoberfest, and I went up, and he was doing things where he's like handing out Tootsie Roll Pops.
Oh.
And he was just kind of like tricking you. He's like, "Oh, come up here, say yes or no if you want a Tootsie Pop." And I said yes. So you don't want one? Anyway, he was just,
So something that reminded me, I wasn't completely wrong about the comedy thing. Going back to the comedy thing, why they look like clowns look like that. I totally forgot this. Like the red nose specifically and the red cheeks is because they were supposed to emulate drunk people.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So that was the the red nose specifically and the like big like red cheeks was supposed to look like from the stage that it was a drunk person. So like you would kind of get that was like the silly comedy because drunk people are really funny. So that was that slapstick.
And a lot of times they're dressed as like kind of old timey hobos as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Kind of, I think it plays along with that.
But like it changed in the 1940s to be more for kids in a way because it used to be like an adult thing to watch clowns.
Yeah, it was like a vaudeville act, I think. There was vaudeville clowns and things like that.
So,
Kay, you never answered your own question. Are you fearful of clowns? And if so, are your parents?
I am not, unless they're like trying to attack me or something.
legit.
Yeah.
I'm scared of people like that.
I'm scared of anything that's trying to attack me, but no, my parents are not, as far as I'm aware. And I always liked like Ronald McDonald. But yeah, I'm always kind of interesting when people have a fear of something. Is it kind of like a learned fear? Do they have a reason to have that fear? You know?
Yeah, I actually, I really liked. Obviously, I'm one of many who really liked Heath Ledger's depiction of the Joker, who's a clown. And I actually tried to explain this to Kim yesterday. We were talking about Papa John's pizza. Do you guys remember how that guy fell out of favor? And then he had the interview where he's like, "I've eaten 40 pizzas in 30 days." Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
So have you guys,
they're not the same quality?
Have you seen? Yeah. So have you seen the video that somebody put up where they like superimposed the Joker's makeup over Papa John for that video? Charlie's seen it. There you go.
Yeah.
So I played that.
Charles like, yeah, I made that video actually.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, but I played that to try to explain like how funny that was. But like they do that all the time. They did that for Trump. Like they put the clown makeup over Trump's face.
Well, there's that 4-panel meme where like on one side it's someone describing something that they're doing and it's just like kind of a self-evident thing, but the person's just like putting clown makeup on as they go through what they're describing. It's like me talking to my friends, me talking to my ex-boyfriend, and like it's because you're the clown, like you're the idiot.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like
You say that like you don't got me, but that's fine. Now I feel like I'm putting on the clown makeup.
I loved using that clown meme where the person puts up the makeup in every panel. In fact, I'll tell you something off air, but we used to use that at work a lot when we're doing stupid shit, or we know when we're going to be doing things that are not going to be successful or cohesive to a good work environment, or like you get reviews. I used to work for a company that was like giving out reviews, and instead of giving out there it is. That's the one. Company, like, instead of like giving out raises, was doing that shit where it was like, oh, have a pizza party instead of a bonus. And
Yep.
yeah. Oh, God, I hate that so much. But oh, well, we got some chatting going on, even though we're not on air anymore. Oh
no.
God,
Offline chatters. Oh my god.
no, it's a offline chatter named Kay in just a Late Night Legends chat.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not the same chat at all. Oh no. That's a different kind of clown. Oh god.
Hey, karma's am I right?
There's really not. I don't feel like there's a lot of depth to this topic. I obviously we
It's
voted
fine.
on it.
Also, happy Pride Month, everyone. Thanks, Jojo Siwa. Anyway, go on. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say there's not. I didn't think there was a lot of depth to this topic. It's kind of something that already happened. That's.
Well,
feel
I
like-
think there's
That's a lot of
some
the topics.
there's some interesting things to explore. Like it's interesting to speculate why it's happening, and I think there's like a lot of like varying cultural reasons.
You know, I really feel like there is a parallel to what I kind of touched on earlier, which is people doing stupid shit for internet clout and internet points and attention. And in the case of the clown stuff, a lot of those people got hurt themselves for being stupid. And I feel like even today you'll see TikTokers who like will do stupid shit and then get in trouble, whether it's like getting arrested or like kicked out of Walmart or whatever. Like I personally like seeing them, catch consequences for their actions, but I feel like the whole clown thing took it to an extreme where it's like there's such a huge risk to not only yourself but the people that you're playing these pranks on if you choose to dress up like a clown and play that type of shit.
I don't.
Wasn't the first one based on because it was coming out like the remake, and it was supposed to be like a promotional thing, but it like wasn't clear, and like they tried to pull Blair Witch where they promoted it, and then they're unsure about the kids being lured being an actual thing, or if it was like another version. And we see this now too with the satanic panic, which is like such an interesting topic to talk about, like satanic panic.
Yeah.
And like how it's such a carryover and how it keeps repeatedly happening. Like it's happening right now, we'll say, with like, not to get political, once again, happy Pride Month, but with like trans people. And you're just trying to lure our kids into body mutilation of some kind is like the rhetoric being put out. But it's another form of the satanic panic. So
Yeah, there's always that witch hunt type of shit that is in media, but there are real people that do actually do satanic signs on TV. Are you familiar with, what's her name here? I'm going to bring up a video really quick.
Wasn't there one at
Esperanza Spalding. Do you know who that is?
who?
Esperanza Spalding? Yeah, she's a Portland jazz artist. She's fucking awesome.
She was throwing up Baphomet signs. And
That's not satanic. Stop. Those aren't bad. Baphomet is fine.
Okay.
As above, so below.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this video up here.
You put it up.
This really happened. She thought she was off camera when this happened. What the fuck? Did you see that? Did you see that?
That's an as above, so below.
I don't know, Joan.
It's not bad. Yes, and as above, so below. It's on tarot cards too. It's a common sign.
Wasn't there
I don't know,
something
man.
at the Super Bowl too? Kind of the same. I remember there being something that people
Ice
got.
Spice or something.
Like somebody threw up some sort of symbol, and everyone was like, "That's satanic."
I was actually going to do a topic on references to potential satanic symbolism within media, and the biggest culprit of this, or one of the biggest culprits, you see a lot of celebrities posing with like closing one eye or doing one of these things or some version of that. And also the rumor has been the people that don't do that actually will get black eyes. So you got celebrities that'll have suddenly black eyes, like Tom Hanks had black eyes once, and then after that he had a picture that was published of him doing that thing, and it's something where it's like Lady Gaga has so many pictures doing that. Why? So like that's the theory. It's related to that. Sorry, Charlie, are you good?
No,
Yeah,
Charlie
well,
and I are thinking the same thing, that it's
You guys are doing some
bullshit
extra
Christian rhetoric.
I was just looking this up. Here you go. LeBron is the devil right here.
LeBron's the devil.
You watch Satan.
Yeah, he does all those symbols before the game. What was that?
I don't know. I try to watch Space Jam 2. I have not had such a bad experience watching a movie for the first time since I watched The Room for the first time. And even The Room was more enjoyable than Space Jam 2.
You're tearing me apart. Oh, hi,
I did
Mark.
not hit her. I did not.
I did not. I one time heard a theory that Danny, whatever his name is, the one that he is actually an alien, and that's why he acts so
about
weird.
Tommy Wiseau?
Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, not Danny. I don't know. I don't know names. I don't know anything. I don't know.
Danny
things.
DeVito's the name.
I was gonna say Danny DeVito.
I said something with a W. I did not say.
I feel like he's just constantly on some type of painkiller. That's my theory, personally. But I don't
Have you heard the backstory of that man? They don't know where he's from, how
Poland.
he got
No.
any
Reddit
money.
figured this out. He's from Poland.
Well, that's not fun. I like to pretend they don't know.
I looked it up.
Reddit's all CIA plants anyway, so it's all fake.
They're satanic CIA plants, I heard.
Anyway.
And also, they're in the Illuminati.
I'm just saying, Space Jam 2 was so bad.
True.
And I'm comparing it to a movie where there's dialogue that's like, they're talking about, Tommy Wiseau's like talking about his job at the bank, and they got a new client, and then the other guy, Mark, is like, who's the new client? And Tommy Wiseau's like, I can't tell you who the new client is. That's confidential. By the way, how's your sex life? Like, that's literally a line in the movie. And that's better than Space Jam 2.
Do you know how often we go, Lisa, you're tearing me apart? Oh, hi, Mark, at this house?
Hey, your personal house?
Yeah, in my personal house. Not my public house. What are you talking about? Yes, my personal house. The people's house. I often go to the White House and I go,
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
oh, you're tearing me apart. Oh, hi, Mark.
What? I feel like that accent is a bit exaggerated.
That's exactly what he sounds like. Impression is perfect. Also, did you read about the columnist who was? It was like an Ask Abby kind of like a column, and they were written in the plot to The Room, and she answered it because she didn't know it was the plot to the movie.
A lot of that movie doesn't even make sense until you actually like read about what the intentions were. So there's that character you guys all know, Denny, and he's just some creepy adult that wants to like get in and maybe have like a threesome with Tommy and his lady, all that stuff. But then after the fact, Tommy Wiseau was like, no, he's got special needs, but we didn't really show that in the movie so well. I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense. Where like that explains a lot that he's just not like a super creepy adult, because that's what he is in the movie.
That movie's a trip. I'd never seen The Room in full. I've seen the clips of The Room. I watched the movie that was about the making of The Room.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've lost the interest of Kimberly. Just want everybody to know that.
I'm looking up The Room because I've never seen it.
You gotta look up highlight clips.
It's on Adult Swim every April Fool's Day. They just play it nonstop. The Room. It's awesome.
I don't have cable.
Kimberly,
Me, I don't either.
for anybody watching in post, don't watch The Room.
Watch The Room. Or at least watch highlight clips.
I made all my friends watch The Room.
I was made to watch The Room. I will say this: if you're gonna watch The Room or want to watch The Room, put it on while you're doing something else. If you're like me and you like watching something when you're doing the dishes or you're cleaning, that's where you want to watch it. You do not want to sit down on a Saturday night and order a pizza and watch it. You don't want to do that. But if you want to put it on, if you have it open in like another, like an immediate player and a tab, but you're also doing like your day job on the other screen on your other monitor, that's fine. But don't dedicate.
You can also there are so many videos about the plot. You can just watch some of the videos about the
There's no fucking plot, Joe.
Well, they'll tell you the story, and then you
There's
can
no
just
fucking
watch the
story.
highlight clips, and you'll know all the lines, and it's fine. And it's the best.
Don't do it, Kimberly.
I'm just reading the plot.
Toss around
on
the pigskin.
Wikipedia.
I'm a
gosh.
big enjoyer of movies that are so bad.
I
that
liked
they are
it for
fun
many
to
years.
watch, and you have a group of friends that just take the absolute Mickey out of it. You know,
I was invited for a guys' night the first time that I watched The Room, and my best friend, who was at my wedding, Joan saw my best friend Ryan give that speech that made me cry. He was the one that is responsible for making me watch The Room. We had a guys' night, and he's just like,
He would enjoy The Room. That makes sense. That tracks.
We went out and bought like a 24-pack of beer and some hard liquor, and we ordered some Pizza Hut. And he's like, tonight.
Did you make like Boilermakers? What did you do?
He's like, we're gonna see The Devil Stick Together. And then we started watching, and I'm like, what is this? Because you realize right away. You realize right away there's something that's not quite right with this film.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen The Lost Skeleton of Cadabra?
No, but please.
No.
My family is obsessed with that, and it was like $50,000 to make the movie. It's so bad. Like, the most expensive part of the set was the silver spray paint to paint their rocket.
No.
It's this
amazing
possessed like skeleton thing, and at one point he's crawling up the outside of the rock, and you can see the strings, and he's just like, it's just a skeleton on the side of the rock doing this.
I love that. If we're talking about movies before we move into final thoughts, I do have a recommendation for a very good clown horror comedy movie, which is Stitches. And I think everyone should watch Stitches.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
I know you have, because I've mentioned it before. The opening scene and opening line is a woman having sex with a clown, and she says, "Fuck me, clown." And we watched it during the pandemic when there was 4 adults living in the same small apartment, and we would just say it to each other all the time.
So weird about it. And you know, when you're talking about clowns and horror, how can you not mention what's his name from House of a Thousand Corpses, Captain Spaulding? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
My sister's met that guy a few times before he died. He's apparently a cool guy. And
I heard he's very nice.
Yeah, for a while at work, after the second movie came out, we would like walk around work going tutti fucking fruity to each other. Tutti fucking fruity.
There's that. There was also the one with that black and white clown, but I heard that like it was not. Yeah, I heard that the plot was not very nice to women.
Nope.
So I didn't watch it.
There's a sequel now too.
Is it nicer to women?
What movie
didn't
is
watch
this?
either of them.
Black
it's
and
called
white.
Terrifier.
Never heard
I'll
of
pull
it.
it up. I'll pull it up.
It's an allusion to like a woman being assaulted in a way that women often get assaulted, unfortunately.
Like a pretzel.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Like
thank
a
you for tuning
pretzel.
in tonight. Thank you for telling a friend. I'm just kidding. Let's do final thoughts.
We didn't do final thoughts. Yeah.
Who's going first? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's do this first. Oh, I've seen this clown before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like usually in like a horror movie, like the final girl has some form of like getting back at the monster, and it's like that feeling that like she's overcome something. And apparently in this movie they did not let the final girl have that feeling. So you just kind of feel like she's been defeated.
I love movies where the good guys lose for some reason. I don't know why.
This is not nice to women though about it.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm
You can feel that way about certain movies. I don't think it.
I love movies where villains win. I love it.
Yeah.
If you guys remember Infinity War, villains won. If you're talking about like the horror genre, I'm sure there's many, but like I didn't see the original Hellraiser series, but they did a remake on Hulu, and it was actually really good. The bad guys win there, so that was awesome. I love that fucking movie. I never saw the first Hellraiser. I think I was too young. And then like trying to like watch the movies as I'm older, it was really hard to go back and watch that quality of old movie without having the nostalgia to motivate you to do so. Anyway, let's have final thoughts. Who wants to go first? Who has a thought about clowns? Anybody?
I have a final thought.
Yes.
Go.
If you are hungry for a McChicken at 2 a.m., make sure you don't have clown makeup on.
Good call. My final thought is, if you look in the room and there's no clowns, maybe you should look in the mirror because you might be the clown.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, I just think it is really interesting. I mean, obviously, these particular sightings, I think, had a lot of different, like, varying factors and stuff like that.
What the fuck happened with my camera? Sorry. What is going on?
You know, if you're looking in the room and you can't find the clown.
I'll be right back.
Oh, know how I got these scars? Well, I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm sorry, Charlie. Was there more to your final thought?
No.
You want to know how I got these scars?
I'm the Joker, baby. Yeah, I don't know. That's
Frank, any thoughts? He's back.
Sorry, I must have kicked the cord on the camera again. This is the second time it's shut off.
We need to get you, so like we used to have for students that like were jittery with their legs and had like restless leg syndrome. You put like rubber bands on the like end of their thing, so when they kick, they just kick the rubber band. And that's what we need for you.
On the end of their thing? What are you talking about? On the end of what?
The end of their chairs.
Oh, like the legs of the chair?
Yeah. Sorry. Made sense in my head. Yeah, like,
If
you know how
there's a
the
teacher
chair has like
that's going to put some rubber bands around my kids' legs, we're going to have a little talk on parenting
not around
today.
the legs of the chair. They just kick it like it's a resistance band.
Okay.
Whatever. What's your final thought?
My final thought is these clowns, when you watch those videos, as we saw, they're in the find out stage generally of fuck around and find out. And don't do that. Don't dress up as a clown. Many people don't like clowns, including my Kim and including Jessie, who would generally be on tonight. Only she hates clowns so fucking much that she's not going to be on tonight. Mm-hmm. And I'm very willingly gave her a pass on tonight because she actually does deserve some time off. But with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. Thank you for watching this last couple weeks. We've had some fun content coming in hot this summer. We're gonna have all nautical content for like a month, and didn't really plan to take off during that time. It just organically happened where I'm gonna be taking some time off during that time. But I know that I think be here for at least one episode where we're gonna dress up as like some pirates or sailors or something, and we're gonna talk about some spooky nautical stuff. So until that happens, again, thank you so much for consuming our content. Thank you for spending some time with us. If you happen to catch us live, make sure that you're participating. If you'd like to mention things to us, we love interacting with our audience. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon if you like some spooky stuff. And we will see you all next week, where we're going to have a really special guest, and I promise to work on my technical issues. Have a great night. Bye.
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 Bye.